League Baseball welcomes you to the following presentation of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
The Diamondbacks Baseball Network is presented by Progressive. It's an opening night feel in the air as we begin a 4-game weekend visit from the Dodgers. Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, the whole LA entourage is here. Diamondback fans are ready and waiting. It's Game 1 on D-Backs TV. And good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to it. Steve and Bob here with you tonight, 1st to 4 against the Dodgers. They are, of course, led by Shohei Ohtani, who lately, Bob, is doing as much damage as ever.
Well, it's not surprising. I mean, Ohtani is one of those special cats. He's just in a league of his own, really, when it comes to the game of baseball. Over his last 11 games, he's hitting .390. He scored 17 runs in 11 games with 12 extra base hits.
He's slugging .951 in his last 11 games. Dodgers won 9 of those games. He's batting leadoff. He's homered twice at Chase Field last year. And boy, it's, as you say, it's not who you play, it's when you play him. Bad time here to catch Ohtani.
No question about it. And you said he's the leadoff hitter for the Dodgers. He has 10 home runs on the season, but only 15 RBIs because he's hitting in that leadoff spot.
Interesting pitching matchup for the opener here. Yamamoto goes for the Dodgers. You see that ridiculous ERA, the best of the majors. Brandon Pfaadt coming off a loss at Philly over the weekend, but still leads the league in wins.
Yeah, leads the league in wins. He beat the Dodgers twice last year, and Yamamoto, much like Ohtani on the offensive side, is dominating out there on the mound.
Well, we got a beautiful night in downtown Phoenix. Roof and outfield panels are wide open. We're set to go for Corbin Carroll, who homered twice against the Mets, set to take on the Dodgers. Lineups are next.
Diamondbacks Baseball is brought to you by Chaz Roberts, serving you since '42. By Sanderson Ford, the best play on a new vehicle is at Sanderson Ford. By Progressive Insurance, step up to the plate for saving. Visit progressive.com. By Budweiser, this Bud's for you. Please enjoy responsibly. And by Talking Stick Resort. Playcation is back. Stay and play with rates as low as $129.
And welcome back on this Thursday evening. It is a gorgeous night here in the desert, hosting the LA Dodgers, the World Series champs. First game in the NL West for the Diamondbacks. As we welcome you back, Jody Jackson alongside Mark Grace. And Gracie, you know, we know about the talented players in this series that are going to match up. And one guy that's back for the Diamondbacks this last week is Ketel Marte, making his return, but only 2 for 16 so far. What do you expect from him?
Well, I expect one of the best players on this team. When you think great players for the Diamondbacks, you think Corbin Carroll and you think Ketel Marte. Ketel Marte has not been great. He's been hurt, I understand that, but he's way better than having 1 RBI on the season. I would imagine this talented young man is going to get hot and get hot yesterday.
Well, that's what Troy Lavello is hoping. Here's what he had to say about the stars who are out in this series.
When teams walk in here, they see a certain face, right? When I walk into Dodger Stadium, I see Ohtani's face. That's the LA Dodgers. When I'm looking at the Dodgers, I think of Ohtani and Betts. That's just how it is. And when teams come in here, I'm thinking they probably think of Marte. And if Marte's not in the lineup and he's not here, the other team's like, their best player is not here. So I think it's impactful to have him in the building and in the lineup.
And speaking of, we will take a look at it for the Dodgers. We are highlighting Freddie Freeman. We know what kind of damage he does against this Diamondback squad.
Well, he just seems to every year put up a MVP caliber year, and he's doing it again so far early in the 2024 season. And did I say 2024?
Yeah, I think it's 2025.
Yeah, last I checked, that's that San Diego State math there, Jody. So anyway, he's just consistently one of the best players in all of baseball. And honestly, even though he plays for the Dodgers, he's a pleasure to watch.
He is. And then for the Diamondbacks, you can see that Marte will be key in this as Brandon Pfaadt is warming up. Gabriel Moreno doing the catching. First pitch is next.
Diamondbacks baseball is brought to you by YRefi. Do you need relief from private student loan debt? Go to YRefi.com. By Budweiser, this Bud's for you. Please enjoy responsibly. By Rockin' Protein, fuel your goals with great tasting protein. And by Progressive Insurance. Step up to the plate for savings. Visit Progressive.com. Oh, they're selling some Serpientes jerseys in there. Those debut tomorrow. Tonight is the Diamondbacks in game 38 this year, meeting a National League West opponent for the first time, already in the middle of a current stretch of games on 16 consecutive days. Now they'll play the next 13 against division opposition, including a pair of series against these Dodgers. And it all starts here right now from downtown Phoenix. Starting pitcher stats provided by YRefi.
As we get a look at the right-hander Brandon Pfaadt, 5 wins. No pitcher in the league has more. He beat the Dodgers both times he faced them last year.
Yeah, coming off a tough loss against the Phillies, gave up 6 earned runs in 4 2/3, 9 hits in that game. But Brandon Pfaadt seems to have the Dodgers number. Hopefully that will continue here tonight.
Shohei Ohtani, the DH, leads it all. Ohtani 279 and 10 homers. He's second in the National League in OPS behind only the Mets' Pete Alonso. And he slams this to center. Alec Thomas is there. As we get a look around the diamond at the D-back defense.
Both teams starting their A club. Gabriel Moreno rather behind the plate with a gold glove. He's the only Diamondback on the field tonight with that honor. I was going to highlight Ketel Marte, but Gracie and Jody already talked about the fact he's 2 for 16 since coming off the injured list. They really need their motor to get started.
Here is Mookie Betts. Fastball is up. Betts, the batting average, rather pedestrian 258. But he does have 5 home runs. Brandon left that fastball out over the plate. Betts last season finished with more walks than strikeouts. He's on a similar track this year. Numbers a little bit quiet for the moment. That tends to change.
Yes, it does. Hopefully not until Monday.
Exactly. Another one for Alec. Well, Brandon Pfaadt been mixing things up lately.
Yeah, he has been. You know, we know he likes that sweeper an awful lot, but we haven't seen as many as we have in the past. He's much like Merrill Kelly. He'll use all the pitches in his arsenal. He's been hurt on the curveball a few times. Fortunately, that's the pitch he uses the least.
2 outs on just 5 pitches for Brandon, and in steps Freddie Freeman. Freeman 362. He's got 8 homers. He arrives here riding a red-hot 12-game hitting streak.
Now for Freddie Freeman, this is his 2058th major league game. He's got 2,301 hits, a career .301 hitter, 351 home runs, headed to Cooperstown.
And he has always torn this place apart. Rush that fastball in there. Freeman recently returned from a right ankle situation, kept him out for 2 weeks early last month, but back and swinging the bat as well as ever. Changeup's in there, and it's 2-2. Too far in. Dodgers just took 2 out of 3 for the Marlins in Miami this week. Freeman tripled, homered twice. He had 8 RBIs in the 3 games at Lone Depot Park. 3-2 from Brandon Pfaadt, and he loses Freeman, the sweeper. Almost hit him in the ankle, and that'll bring up the catcher Will Smith.
Will Smith, a little different hitter than we've seen in past seasons. He's hitting the ball in the air a lot more. And the byproduct of that is he's striking out more and he's walking more. I don't understand all that, but he's trying to hit the ball in the air a lot more often.
His numbers really faded down the stretch last year, Will Smith. Last year, National League All-Star for the 2nd year in a row. Jeremy Rehak says strike 1. Smith last year, his 3rd career season of at least 20 home runs. He's got power. Freeman no threat to run down there. 1-1 on Will Smith. He punches it the other way down the right field line. Freeman lumbers into third. And the Dodgers, with 2 outs, have been on the corners for Max Muncy.
Talking to some of the Dodgers people, they said that Will Smith this year is doing that more than he ever has in his career. Go to the opposite field, especially with runners in scoring position. Lumbering Freddie Freeman. That's a good way to put it.
He was not moving all that well. He's working on that bum ankle that had surgery last December. Muncy batting under 180. His 5th, 2 on and 2 out. Muncy a little slow out of the gate, just 2 for 20 in 6 games this month. His strikeout rate has jumped way up. 32%, by far a career high for him. A lot of swing and miss lately. And Brandon Pfaadt could use some of that right here. Brandon Pfaadt had won 5 consecutive starts before a loss at Philadelphia last Saturday. Got hit pretty hard, 6 earned runs, 9 hits, did not complete at least 5 innings for the first time this season. Looking for a bounce back tonight. Fastball command with Brandon the last 3 starts now has not been what it usually is. That fastball's been sprayed around a bit. Curveball misses badly on 2-1. Fastball thing started in a start here against Tampa Bay. That was back on April 2nd. It's been 3 starts in a row now where his control with that 4-seamer is not quite what we're used to seeing.
And that throws your whole program off. If you can't have your #1 pitch and throw it where you want, when you want, it kind of minimizes your secondary stuff.
That was the fastball there, and it's full 3-2. Other thing that hurt Brandon in that start at Citizens Bank Park last Saturday, he was out there battling some heavy rains at times, and at certain points admitted that while he didn't want to use it as an excuse, the wet conditions really affected the command with that sweeper. 3-2 to Freeman, walked him. Smith is single. Now it's full on Max Muncy. Smith takes off from first. Muncy hits it to first. Naylor's got it. And he beats Muncy to the bag. Brandon Pfaadt strands 2. Diamondbacks coming up against Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Corbin Carroll gets first look at your Dodger starter tonight, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, 26-year-old right-hander, 4-2 in 7 starts. The earned run average 0.90. That's the best of the major leagues.
Yeah, and he's got good stuff out there. He can rely on any number of pitches. Has a good fastball, good splitter, good curveball. He'll mix in an occasional cutter, a two-seamer, and a slider.
Corbin Carroll will lead it off. Remember, he had a leadoff homer against the Mets on Monday here. And as he steps in here, he has reached base safely in 6 consecutive plate appearances. And he bounces that to second. Kim, the new second baseman. Yamamoto has 3 dominant pitches.
Yeah, the 3 dominant pitches are, as I said, were that 4-seam fastball, a splitter, and a curveball. He also throws a cutter, a sinker, and a slider. He'll mix those in maybe second and third time through the order, but relies heavily on those first 3. You see that average against the splitter, 98.
If the Diamondbacks are going to make any noise in this series, they need Ketel Marte to get back on MVP form. He has gone 2 for 16 in 5 games since coming back from the left hamstring strain. Just 13 games on the year. Fastball at 95 is there. Dave Roberts says that Yoshinobu Yamamoto is turning himself into a staff ace. He's putting himself in that category. Guys who, when they take the mound, you know they're going to go 6 innings, and you know you're going to get a good chance to win, and Yamamoto has certainly done that for them. He was the National League's pitcher of the month last month, and in 40 innings of work this year has given up only 4 earned runs. Hard to do much better than that. Ketel tracks the fastball to the bottom of the zone. It's 2-2.
To ask some of the hitters, I wonder if Yamamoto, looking over toward the third base dugout right before he wheels to throw to home plate, I wonder if that's distracting at all for a hitter. He'll look over toward that third base dugout right there and then comes right toward the plate.
That's the split finger pitch that has been a deadly weapon for him this year, but it sailed wide and the count is full with Pavin Smith, the on deck hitter. Broken bat roller stays fair for Freeman. And Bob, let's get a look at your Budweiser keys to the game.
Well, we've already talked about it at length. You got to keep Shohei Ohtani off the bases. He's scored 40 runs in 37 games. He's got 10 stolen bases. Got to keep him off the bags. And for the offense of the Diamondbacks, no missed opportunities. I think that was the most frustrating thing about yesterday's ball game. They had a whole bunch of opportunities early in the game and couldn't cash them in.
I remember Kodai Senga yesterday walked 5 in the first 2+ innings, and none of those walks scored. Diamondbacks lost to the Mets 7-1. Pavin Smith, the DH, bats third. Curveball bounced up there. Pavin has run into a bit of a dry spell here. Teams have been showing him fastballs early in the count, then getting him to chase some breaking stuff. And the numbers have dried up a bit. That's the curveball for a strike.
Yeah, the 3-hole in the Diamondbacks lineup over the last 12 games has been a black hole. Pavin is 0 for 26. Randall Grichuk, who faces the lefties, is 4 for 26. Got to get some production out of the middle of this lineup.
Well, they're facing just about the toughest pitcher there is to do it. Yamamoto throws that split. That split finger pitch gets about a 50% whiff rate. It is a deadly weapon. Right back to the mound, went right back to the split, and works a 1-2-3 first. First of 4, Diamondbacks and Dodgers, and after 1, no score.
Enormous crowds for this 4-game series against the Dodgers, and that means big jackpots at our D-backs Give Back 50-50 raffle supported by Avdet Cares. We're already well over $14,000, and we will have some large winners here the next 4 games. You can play from anywhere in the state of Arizona. Log online, dbacks.com/5050 by the end of the 7th inning, and half the jackpot can be yours. Going to raise a lot of money from our Diamondback fans to help the community all weekend long. Andy Pages is that batter, and he pops out to very short right for Corbin Carroll. Quickly one away for Brandon Pfaadt in the LA second.
That's a good first out. Pages was named National League Co-Player of the Week last week. He didn't do much. He hit .586. 3 homers, 8 RBIs.
Yeah, shared it with Gino Suarez. The struggling Michael Conforto, who is batting under 140, does have 2 home runs, but his bat has vanished. His first season with the Dodgers. Conforto arrives here stuck in a 1-for-37 in his last 11 games. Signed in December, a 1-year, $17 million deal to solidify their outfield situation after they committed to moving Mookie Betts back to shortstop full time, so they thought Conforto would be part of that equation. But he's hit a rough patch here.
That's what I mentioned about Shohei Ohtani. 10 home runs on the season, only 15 runs driven in. The guys at the bottom of this Dodger order are really struggling, from Max Muncy on down. Well, Pages has had a good week, but Conforto and Outman, the guys at the bottom, just haven't been getting on base for Ohtani.
It can be a top-heavy LA lineup at times. 94 is right there, and it's 2-2. The Shohei Show has arrived, and with it a fairly significant Japanese media contingent.
Had to fight for your seat today, didn't you?
It was packed down there. Usually there's like 6 people. I think today there were 46. 2-2. Conforto gives it a ride, backs Alec Thomas to the wall, and he's got it. Boy, that's 3 balls so far through 7 batters that have been hit out to the warning track area in dead center.
It always concerns me a little bit when the opposing team is driving the ball hard to center field. That means they've got a pretty good approach. That time a little cutter, breaking ball right in the middle of the plate, sends it right out to center field. Good running catch here by Alec Thomas.
That happened to Brandon a lot in Philadelphia over the weekend. Some location mistakes really burned him. Here's one of the new Dodgers, S-Sung Kim. Only 5 games in, he's the second baseman. Just made his major league debut earlier this month. 5 for 12 on the year. 26 years old.
Yeah, we're told this guy can really burn on the bases. He'd be another guy you want to keep off.
Got a guaranteed 3-year, $12.5 million deal to come over from the KBO, the Kiwoom Heroes, where he was a tremendous player over there. With a sterling defensive reputation, 4 Gold Gloves. Fastball away, and it's 1-2. Dodgers currently without Tommy Edman. He's on the injured list with some right ankle inflammation. So S-Sung Kim getting a look. Called strike 3. Sinker is there. Pfaadt has his first strikeout. And a 1-2-3 second. Josh Naylor going to lead off the second. Then it's Suino, it's Gino, and Gabriel Moreno all coming up next. Packed house with the roof open at Chase Field, and there they are on our wire cam presented by Defy. It's D-backs baseball powered by the resources of Major League Baseball. Just getting started here. First of 4 over the weekend. Diamondbacks and Dodgers. And Josh Naylor starts us off in the home half of the second. And they're against the Japanese ace, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And there's ball 1. Naylor at .299. He's got 4 homers. Yamamoto coming off a 1-2-3-11 pitch first. Naylor hits it in the air to Conforto in left field. 4 up, 4 down for LA.
Hey, fans, if the D-backs hit a home run tonight, you score a free jumbo jack at Jack in the Box with the purchase of a large strip.
Hey, Eugenio Suarez. Just under 200. He's got 10 homers. And boy, Gino turned in some spectacular defense at third base yesterday in that game against the Mets. Also had 3 hits in that series, walked twice, drove in a couple of runs.
Yeah, I don't think he had any easy play in the ball game yesterday. There were some missiles hit down his way, and he made the play on all of them.
Well, Yamamoto is about 95, 96 with his 4-seam fastball. He's got that ungodly split. It gets about a 50% whiff rate. He liked the curveball as well. There's the sinker he'll throw once in a while.
Most of the time everything is down, 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 which just leads to a 61% ground ball rate.
Gino scoops this out to Conforto. And there's 2 outs. Well, Dave Roberts says that Yamamoto has really bought into the concept of utilizing that breaking ball. They don't want him to be a 2-pitch pitcher. They believe the curveball is difficult for hitters and helps get guys off that velocity with the fastball. So it's not, he's not just a 3-pitch guy, but he's essentially a 3-pitch guy with the fastball, the split, and the curve. Here's Gabby. Fastball missed away. Going to get Moreno's bat going here. Gabby's been off course a little bit. He was a scratch from Tuesday's win over the Mets, sat out yesterday as well. He's got some soreness in that left side after a play at the plate on Monday, but is game ready and good to go. And is ahead of the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Randy Johnson is standing by, the big unit in the house on an anniversary of sorts for him tonight. We'll talk to the unit, or as we like to call him, the Big Chatty.
The Big Chatty.
Always fun to have Randy in the booth with us, so he's coming up in the top of the 3rd. Pretty good pitching matchup to have Randy Johnson with you too.
Sure.
Gabby knocks it into left center. The Diamondbacks have their first base runner.
Well, weighted back nicely. It appeared to be a breaking ball. Ended up right in the middle of the plate. A rare miss spot that time from Yamamoto. And Gabby gets the first knock of the game for the D-backs.
RY refi slow-mo look. Base runner for Gurriel. Lourdes having a terrific month of May after a tough April. Look out, the bat is on the way.
Wow. That's a good toss there.
That was an Olympic level toss. It cleared the whole dugout. J-Mart going to chase that down.
That's what happens when you get fooled by an off-speed pitch and you try to extend your swing. You loosen the grip on the bat just a little bit to try to get out there and get a piece of that pitch. And
pretty good launch angle on that
really
bat.
Good launch angle.
When they say launch angle with the bat, they're not. That's not what they mean. Lourdes this month hitting better than .330. 4 multi-hit games in his last 8. Fastball missed away. Lourdes for a while last month was getting beaten consistently with velocity, particularly fastballs in. So they had him get some extra hitting, extra BP against high velocity fastballs. They have a machine that does that, pumps them in there at about 100. And he hit against that machine, and suddenly the line drives were ringing off the bat, catching up to fastballs that were beating him before.
And sometimes as a hitter, you get caught in between, especially against a guy like Yamamoto. He's got a good fastball in the mid to upper 90s, got that nasty split. That curveball's much improved.
That's the heater right there.
Sometimes you get caught in between. You're looking for a fastball, he throws you the splitter, you end up throwing your bat down the third base. You look for the splitter, he throws you a fastball, you foul it into the first base dugout. So he was kind of in between there for a week or so.
Moreno's at first with 2 outs. Punches it through Gabby Lane, and Moreno will stop at second. Back-to-back 2-out hits ahead of Alek Thomas.
Yamamoto, it looks like early on is just pitching righties away, and Lourdes stays right on it, takes advantage of that big hole on the right side. A couple of D-backs on base here.
First 2 hits in the ball game come with 2 outs. A chance for Alek now. .295 and 13 RBIs. Moreno at second, Gurriel at first. That's the split low. Alek had a pair of hits yesterday afternoon against the Mets. He's in his last dozen games batting over .330. Been a big contributor lately offensively. That's that curveball they talked about. Trying to encourage him to throw that more. Playing off the fastball.
Well, he's got a good teacher to improve that curveball. Mark Pryor, their pitching coach for the Dodgers, had a nasty curveball when he pitched for the Cubs.
You can see all the vertical drop on that thing. A lot of tilt. 2-0 now. Got the call. Brennan Miller back there, our plate umpire. Just nipped the edge of the zone, right. Right there.
Somewhere.
I saw B. Miller for a minute. I thought we were going to be searching for strikes, but it was Brennan Miller and not Bill. There's a cut fastball. So back-to-back 2-out singles. Now it's 3-1 on Thomas with Geraldo Perdomo on deck. So Yamamoto knocked a little off course here.
He's just not used to pitching out of the stretch.
Right. Tried to lay on the curveball, couldn't check that time, says Chris Conroy. It's the same pitch he was able to take before. So 21 pitches in this inning and still going. (3-2) to Alek Thomas. Runners on the move, swing and a miss. He threw him another curveball. And Yamamoto gets his first strikeout. We'll talk to Randy Johnson on his anniversary after this break.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Castro. 19 strikeouts for Randy Johnson. He goes into his windup. Here's the pitch. He struck him out. He's got 20. And he points to the sky with his glove. 20 strikeouts for Randy Johnson.
The Governor Greg Schulte on the call. That was May 8th, 2001. And here he is, the big unit, Randy Johnson. Thanks for coming by. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Good to see you. I got to say before we do anything, this is the least correct bobblehead I've ever seen. It's about 3 inches tall.
That is not lifelike whatsoever.
Not at all.
It doesn't even bobble either.
Yeah, what the hell's going on?
We got gypped on that deal. James Outman hits a deep fly ball to right center. Alec Thomas under the home run porch. And he's got it. Alec Thomas all the way under the home run porch in right center. Another loud fly ball, but it stays in the yard.
Now the 4th time Alec's been chased back to the warning track in center field already here in the top of the 3rd inning.
That went 408 feet.
Ooh.
Yeah. Anyway, we're talking anniversary. May 8th, 2001. Diamondbacks and Reds. 20 strikeouts. So when you just saw the video, what springs to mind?
Oh, look who's batting.
Oh, look, changing the subject. All right. We'll do a little Ohtani. He lined out to center his first time. There's strike 1. How would you pitch to this guy?
Very carefully.
Yeah, there you go. Randy Johnson, ladies and gentlemen.
It didn't matter who I gave up a home run to. If you made a bad pitch.
This is way up high. Should be playable for Lourdes. But seriously, 124 pitches. This is what's amazing about that. Not just the 20 strikeouts. 124 pitches, 92 strikes. Ooh. That's amazing.
Not bad.
He's the king of the short answer. But seriously, when you look at the video, what does it make you feel?
It's just, I mean, you know, it was just one of those evenings where, you know, me and Damian Miller were on the same page as far as pitch selection, and just everything worked out. I remember a couple of hits that I gave up. I think I had them 0-2, 1-2.
You only gave up a run on 3 hits.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was just one of those nights where things click. And what I mean by that is, you know, I also had some big strikeout games up in Seattle. I was there for 10 years. I had 2 games where I had 19, and then 1 game where I had 18. And in those 19 strikeout games, one against Oakland A's and 1 against the Chicago White Sox, I was trying to strike out. You know, and it goes to show that it's extremely difficult to strike a batter out. It just kind of has to happen naturally, you know, with a foul ball or overpowering someone or just catching them off guard with the pitch.
Mookie Betts pops that back up. Well, 300, and this is unbelievable, 372 strikeouts that year. That was your career high that season. So you did have that special extra thing in that season.
Well, in 2001, it ended pretty well too, I would say.
Yeah, it all worked out in the end, as they say.
Absolutely.
There it is, number 20.
I had to look it up, Randy. In that season, 35 starts, you pitched under 100 pitches 3 times.
Wow.
Mookie Betts has the Dodgers' second hit, a 2-out single into center, as we chat with the big unit Randy Johnson on the anniversary of his 20 strikeout game, May 8th, back in 2001. Do you remember anything about that particular Reds lineup? Was there a guy you were looking toward?
I mean, you know, every lineup is, you know, it's a major league lineup. Even pitchers get hits when, you know, you throw the ball over the plate. Hell, I even got a home run in my career, so you run into one every once in a while. But the point being is that it was just the way, you know, me and D-Train set pitches up. You know, my breaking ball, my slider was really on that day. Had an overpowering fastball and got ahead in the count a lot, you know, and you know, it's something extremely difficult to do because Clemens is you know, there's only a handful of people that have ever done it. Clemens a couple of times, and Matt Scherzer, and then Kerry Wood. Yeah. Kerry Wood with the Cubs.
Freeman hits one toward the left field line for Lourdes, and he's got room. The great Randy Johnson, the anniversary, May 8th, 2001. Congratulations again. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
Back with Diamondbacks baseball. Thank you to the big unit, still scoreless in the 3rd.
Geraldo Perdomo.
He is that next guy that we're going to look at and go, oh my God, that guy is a star.
To the wall, and it's gone. Geraldo Perdomo with a grand slam. What a grab by Perdomo. Some slick shortstop play. He's done it one more time.
That ball was blasted.
And Geraldo Perdomo starts us off in the home half of the third against Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Jerry 285 and 5 homers. He leads the Diamondbacks and runs Bennett in, which is not something you see a lot from your number 9 hitter, but that's the way this lineup works and works well. And he's been working well lately. Perdomo 13 hits and 11 RBIs in his last 10 games. He starts off the third against Yamamoto. Gave up a couple of 2-out singles in the second. Base hits by Moreno and Gurriel. And in the meantime, Brandon Pfaadt has worked 3 scoreless innings against this LA lineup and allowed only 2 singles himself. Hey, spend Mother's Day at Chase Field this Sunday. You'll get a clear crossbody bag. Secure your tickets at dbacks.com. We'll have the finale of this Dodger series on Mother's Day, and you can get this awesome Diamondbacks clear crossbody bag. dbacks.com. Tickets are going fast for this series. Got another full house in here today. That's coming up Sunday. Minnesota Twins, Arizona Diamondbacks, and LA Dodgers. A lot going on there. 2-2. Perdomo just over the reach of Mookie Betts at shortstop. That's base hits by 3 of the last 4 Diamondback hitters against Yamamoto.
Yamamoto, he's missed his spot a few times tonight, especially with that fastball. He tries to work on the edges of the zone, even though he throws extremely hard. He doesn't just aim for the middle of the plate.
Corbin Carroll in the leadoff spot, grounded out to start the game for the Diamondbacks. Homered twice in the Mets series this week. Corbin began the series tied for the National League lead in both hits and extra base hits. He leads the league in total bases, 4th in OPS. Lays off that split. Corbin hit a leadoff homer against the Mets here Monday, and then an 8th inning homer yesterday afternoon. And had a very productive series against New York. 5 hits. He walked 4 times in those 3 games. Bounce to Freeman at first. They get the force on Perdomo, and Corbin able to avoid the double play.
Everybody knows Freddie Freeman for his offensive capabilities, but he's pretty slick down there at first base. Wheels and fires to Mookie Betts, who thinks they still have a chance at the double play, but Carroll able to beat it out as Freeman got back to the bag to cover after the throw to second base.
And Mookie Betts, if you haven't been following, made the full-time Dodger shortstop this year. And so far so good. Marte grounded out his first time. Curveball lands for a strike.
It's the oddest thing with Yamamoto. Even out of the stretch, he takes that peek over toward the third base dugout before delivering the ball to home plate.
I remember there was a Dodger pitcher years back who used to look straight up to the sky. That worked out pretty good for the great Fernando. But that is a little odd, isn't it? Corbin dancing around off first. Marte bounces it to second. Kim, Betts, 2. 3 scoreless Diamondbacks and Dodgers from Chase.
We have talked about it because Nelly threw the ball real good, and we feel like this is the time where if we can, maybe it's good to give somebody or 2 or 3 of the starters a little bit of a blow. So we'll see.
Yeah, Jody Jackson back with you. Kicking around the idea of a 6-man rotation is Troy Lovello. It would be temporary. Not something they've done here typically, guys. The change in routine, he said other pitchers, they'd be okay with it. Of course, Ryan Nelson being that 6th man. As long as they know 4 or 5 days in advance. It's a stretch of 16 straight that they're in. The last off day, April 28th, and the next one not till May 15th.
Thank you, Jody. They tend to avoid the 6-man rotation, but you can do it temporarily here and there when you're in the middle of 16 games without an off day. Will Smith starts off the 4th. And of course, a lot of that might depend on how Corbin Burns feels after he starts here Saturday. Remember, they skipped Corbin's turn in the rotation, gave that start to Ryan Nelson, which Torrey referenced. Nelly threw the ball very well, so that's a very enticing option. So maybe if Corbin isn't back to 100% after Saturday, they think about, let's do one turn through to a 6-man, see how it looks.
Sure, and then ideally everybody does what they're supposed to do. They get a little bit of a blow, and then you go back to the 5-man when you have some off days.
There's a 3-0 strike, so we'll see what happens after Saturday. But Corbin has been throwing a lot, Corbin Burns, and feels great. Everything's coming out. The reports are very encouraging, so he will start here Saturday against Dustin May. Eduardo Rodriguez goes tomorrow night against Roki Sasaki. Fastball's a strike. There's that sinker, and it's full 3-2.
You know, Bert, I wouldn't be surprised if Dave Roberts and the Dodgers do the same thing. They've got 15 pitchers on the injured list.
It's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
I was going through the list today. I'm like, how are they winning the division? They have let's start with the bullpen. Dave Roberts is without Evan Phillips, Blake Trinan, Bruce Darker-Adderall, Michael Kopech, Michael Grove. That's just the relievers. Then the starters, still no Kershaw. Blake Snell's out. He's got left shoulder trouble. No Tyler Glasnow, no Gavin Stone. And here they are. 25 and 12.
That's most of their bullpen on the injured list.
Crazy. Second walk issued by Brandon Pfaadt. Smith aboard to start the 4th ahead of Max Muncy.
Which makes it all the more vital for the Diamondbacks to take advantage right now. Not that the Dodgers are a pushover or anything like that, but they're definitely not at full strength right now.
For sure. Beautiful night here at the ballpark. All opened up at Chase. I'm going to mention that 6-man rotation, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, a lot like Kodai Senga of the Mets, who we just saw, prefers to pitch on that more traditional Japanese model of a 6 days rest. That's how they do it over there. And we just saw him and Yamamoto win over the Braves last week. First time he's pitched on 5 days between starts, and tonight he's back on his preferred 6-day rotation. So if you have Yamamoto and then you've got Sasaki behind him like they do, that's something to which you have to give, I would think, pretty strong consideration. And how do you manage not 1 but 2 Japanese starters in rotation who like that 6-day thing? That's the way they've always worked. So it's a big adjustment to come over here and pitch every 5th day. But Dave Roberts will handle it. He's done a marvelous job with the Dodgers. Brandon Pfaadt now with 50 pitches, 30 strikes. Ahead of Max Muncy, a ball and 2 strikes.
Looking up some numbers, or my staff was rather.
Well, that's why. I mean, you got to delegate.
Yeah. For Brandon Pfaadt, since the start of last season, has had 39 starts. The team is 23 and 16 in those starts. He's had 11 of those 39 without a walk, 16 of them without a home run.
He has been a model of consistency. Can't get Muncy to chase the curveball. It's 2-2. Muncy right now stuck in a 2 for 21. He's been striking out a bunch, as we mentioned before. He grounded out his first time up tonight. Lazy fly if they can get a man there. Perdomo drifting way out to shallow right center.
And that's the first out in the LA fourth. You can purchase a special event ticket pack for Friday, May 16th. Rockies will be in town. And you'll get this exclusive D-backs Common Hype hat and your game ticket to the game against Colorado. That's May 16th. dbacks.com/common hype.
Like this one. Whoops, the other way. There.
You got to do the bill thing.
Well, I'll get to it. There you go.
Yeah.
I was hanging it the wrong way.
Well, you're not big on hype yourself. Andy Pages. Pages, the right fielder. He has hit in each of his last 4 games. And over the course of the season has already put together a highlight reel of outfield catches. He's robbed some home runs. He's had a tremendous year defensively. Naylor foul ground, and he has it go just off the glove. Had to be careful there, standing at the foot of the steps, and you don't want to take a tumble down there.
It looked like he wanted to take one more peek to see where that railing was, but decided to keep his eyes on the baseball. And it's in and out of the glove. Ooh.
Still a strike. Foul tip on the fastball. Gabby hangs on. 1-2 on Pages. National League Player of the Week in his back pocket. He's been on a tear for a while now. Last 14 games he's hitting over 400.
I kind of like this guy when we saw him last year for the Dodgers. We saw him really good in one series and not quite so good in another one, but you can tell this guy's got some tools. He's going to be a good one.
Long look into Moreno for Brandon Pfaadt, and now they got to get together here. Yeah, Pages last year came up for his big league debut middle of April, and he went on a tear right away. First 16 games he hit .339, but really cooled off steadily after that hot start. Let's get this from Jack in the Box.
My Nashville hot popcorn chicken. So much deliciousness starting at $5.99.
Welcome to Jack in the Box.
Pages from Havana, Cuba, signed by the Dodgers in March of 2018. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Good hard sinker down and in, and Brandon Pfaadt gets his 2nd strikeout.
Well, that sinker's become a better and better pitch for Brandon Pfaadt as the season has gone along. It's especially effective against lefties when he starts it off the inside corner and tails it back to the corner, but this one will work too. Right underneath the swing of Pages.
Yeah, you bring that sinker into the righty, then throw the sweeper away. He's got those 2 pitches. He's going to have a good night. Conforto flying out to center in the 2nd. Conforto began the season as a Dodger with hits in 6 consecutive games. He had 4 doubles and a home run in his first week as a Dodger, and they thought, oh boy, here we go. It was a very encouraging opening for him, but he has really cooled off. You go back since April 4th, a stretch of more than 100 plate appearances. He is 8 for his last 90.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Saw a lot of Conforto last couple of years with the San Francisco Giants, now wearing Dodger blue. Pitch inning and counting for Brandon, who's now at 60 for the game, 36 for strikes. He's allowed only 2 hits, both singles. He's walked 2, he struck out 2. That's a rocket. Ketel Marte, top shelf. Glove save and a beauty. 111 miles an hour off the belt. Diamondbacks Baseball Network, presented by Progressive.
We're fine. We're whatever our record is. I think we're 19-18. We're fine. But that ain't the goal. That's not where I want to go. Fine is not good for me. I want more than fine with this team because we got a good baseball team.
That was the skipper earlier today, Torey Lovullo. His club has lost 9 of its last 14 games, and people were asking, okay, are you getting a little nervous? Watching the Dodgers and the Padres and the Giants ahead of you. What are you thinking? And he said, well, we're fine. But that's not good enough.
It's not good enough.
And he got a little animated there. Pavin Smith, the DH, leads off the 4th against Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And they've been fine so far. Brandon Pfaadt has worked 4 scoreless innings against this Dodger lineup, and the D-backs have out-hit LA 3-2. He's not had a great split. I mean, he's missed badly with it sometimes. He's thrown some very good ones, but it's not been consistently a wipeout pitch like it usually is. And a miss with a fastball away, and it's 3-0 on Pavin. Smith, Naylor, Suarez, 3, 4, and 5. Diamondbacks gave the Dodgers a lot to handle last year. They outscored LA 86-73. They lost the season series, but only by 1 game. LA took it 7-6. So they went neck and neck with these guys last year. Low strike call there from Brennan Miller, but that's a correct call, and it's full 3-2. I think right now Bob Pavin is in between a fastball swing and a breaking ball swing.
It's so hard to figure out because he was locked in.
Oh, killing it.
Oh, early this season you couldn't get him out. You couldn't throw a strike that he couldn't hit.
It definitely seems a little in between. Curveball missed badly well out there. It's first walk from Yamamoto. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, our player profile, brought to you by Progressive. First 7 starts of the season by a Dodger pitcher. He's right behind Fernando and Don Sutton, and that goes all the way back to 1913, the Brooklyn days. Josh Naylor flying out to left to lead off the second, his first time up tonight.
One thing that really needs to change in this matchup between the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks is game 1 of a series. During the last 15 regular season series, the Dodgers have won the first game every time.
Wow. Well, this one's off to a good start. Very close, very competitive game. 2 well-pitched games. Although Yamamoto, certainly, I don't think he's got his A game today. It's fair to say that. Now, we said that about, last night about Senga, and then he was unbelievable from 3rd inning on. But Yamamoto is not. He's had traffic around him on the bases last 2 innings and just walked the leadoff hitter in the 4th. That's a scud with the split finger pitch. 2-1 on Naylor. Hits it up the middle, diving stop by Mookie Betts, but they can't connect with Kim, and everybody's safe. A tremendous stop by Mookie at shortstop, but he missed Kim on the exchange, and it's a base hit for Naylor.
I didn't think Mookie was going to be able to get to that ball. Naylor hit it really hard, but Mookie gets to the ball. Probably would have been better served just to go to first base and get a sure out, but tried to shovel onto his second baseman and just didn't have a good handle on the ball that time.
It's Ha-Sung Kim getting a start at second base. Tommy Edman on the injured list right now. Kim up from their AAA club. So something cooking here to start the 4th on a walk and a base hit. 4 hits for the Diamondbacks. Gino flying out his first time up. Looking for a big swing right here. And that's down the line, but he got out in front of it. That was the split finger pitch, and he hooked it foul.
It's Yamamoto. You have to take what he gives you. He very rarely makes mistakes. Now, he's a little off his game tonight, but we've seen the Diamondbacks Lourdes went opposite field. Perdomo went opposite field. And for Josh Naylor, that's opposite field, hitting it up the middle.
That's true.
And then what's really weird about it is Gabby, who we talk about hitting the ball the opposite way all the time, he pulled his base hit.
It's a world gone mad.
It is.
Fouled off the sinker there. He's got Gino on the back foot, 0-2. Pavin Smith's at second. Josh Naylor's at first. No outs in the fourth. And the bases are loaded with no outs for Gabriel Moreno. And that one plunked him, a slider. This goes back to what you were talking about earlier, Bob. They didn't take advantage when they had chances against the Mets, and it cost them. Got to cash in right here.
Got Suarez on the elbow and Will Smith right in the middle of the mask.
Walk, single, hit batter. They're loaded, no outs. Conference time for Mark Pryor and on the mound. You were talking about Pryor's curveball as a Cub.
Yeah, I might be able to show you here. Mark Pryor, when he was pitching for the Cubs alongside Kerry Wood, we talked about his 20 strikeout game. But Mark Pryor's curveball, most pitchers, when they throw a curveball, it comes out of their hand and goes up first, and then it takes the break and goes down. Mark Pryor's curveball came straight out of his hand. I don't know how he did it.
So the hitters would look for that hump, right?
Yeah, you look for the little hump, the ball coming out of the pitcher's hand, going up first and then breaking down. But Pryor's curveball did not do that. It came straight out of his hand. And that's why he was as good as he was.
Short career, but he was a legend there for a while. So he's got his words in there for Yamamoto. Moreno steps in. Gabby got the Diamondbacks' first hit, a single into left center in the second. Bases full of Diamondbacks and no outs. Misfire on the slider. It's interesting, I think, because the splitter hasn't been that great, the fastball command not super. He's trying some of those other secondaries that he doesn't throw so much. Yank the fastball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Chance to put a crooked number up there for Gabby. Diamondbacks last 4 games with the runners in scoring position, only 3 for 21. 0 for 1 so far tonight. Moreno the other way. It backs up high. Is still backing up. And it's gone. Gabriel Moreno. It's a Gabby grand slam. And it's 4-0 Diamondbacks. Big smile from Gabby, and why not? That's his first of the year.
He saved it for the right time. Bases loaded, gets a heater right down the middle of the plate that time and bangs it to the opposite field. We were just joking about his first hit was pulled to left. This is more what we're used to seeing from Gabby Moreno.
This is the 8th start of the year for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. That's only the 3rd home run he's given up all season. And you talk about a jumbo jack, that was it. You'll get a free one tomorrow with a purchase of a large drink at Jack in the Box. As Gurriel steps in, 4-0 Diamondbacks, and still no outs in the 4th. Lourdes single in the second, his first time tonight. What a time for Gabby's first home run of the year. Second career grand slam. And his first since August of 23. Hit one at Petco Park. And the Beat LA chant rises from Chase. There's that curveball, and Yamamoto gets his first out of the 4th. That's just his 2nd strikeout.
How about this, partner? That was the first plate appearance this season for Yamamoto with the bases loaded. And the first grand slam he's given up in his career.
Wow. How about that? Well, I mean, if you watch, you can kind of tell he's not quite as sharp as they're used to seeing. First earned runs allowed after the 3rd inning for him. I mean, he has been virtually unhittable. An ERA under 1, the best earned run average of the major leagues, but he trails it 4-0 early here. Alec Thomas struck out in the 2nd. Yamamoto's previous start was last Friday at Atlanta. He held the Braves to 1 hit and 6 scoreless. In fact, he took a no-hitter into that 6th inning before Austin Riley doubled for the first and only Atlanta hit against him. In his career in Japan, he was 70-29 over 7 seasons. And he said the other day he thinks he's really close now to the level at which he was pitching when he was at his best in Japan. And he bounces back with a couple of strikeouts as we check back in with Jody Jackson.
Yeah, guys, obviously Yamamoto not at his best here today, but there was some talk on the Mets side yesterday, Kodai Senga, about the dry air and that he was not able to really get the break on that ghost fork that he was getting back in New York, or even in LA, for example. There's a little more tack on the ball, and you have to wonder even if it could be mental at that point. The command just doesn't seem as sharp for Yamamoto here tonight.
It's funny because that's something that Zach Gallen mentioned the other day, because he's got the 2 wins in New York when he was at his best this season. Citi Field and Yankee Stadium, and Zach had mentioned the same thing. The ball breaks differently on the East Coast than it does here at Chase. It's the 2nd highest elevation level in the majors behind Coors Field. 27 pitches in this inning for Yamamoto, up over 70 of the ball game now. Through 3 2/3. Kim at second will take it. It started with a walk, a single, and a hit batter. Gabriel Moreno came up. This wasn't on Gabby Lane. This was on Gabby Expressway. It's a Gabby Granny, and it's 4-0 Diamondbacks. Tonight's game is presented by Budweiser. Gabriel Moreno, a grand slam off Yoshinobu Yamamoto. 4-0 Diamondbacks lead the Dodgers, first to 4 between these two here this weekend. Suddenly a 4-0 lead for Brandon Pfaadt as he starts off the 5th inning. Ha-Seong Kim, his 6th game with LA. The second baseman struck out in the 2nd. Brandon Pfaadt, 61 pitches through 4, helped in part by a pair of 10-pitch innings in both the 2nd and 3rd. So the pitch count for Brandon in pretty good shape here, and the scoreboard as well. And it's 0-2 on Kim. Pfaadt so far 4 scoreless. He's allowed only 2 hits. He's walked 2. He struck out 2. Diamondbacks May 26th here at Chase Field as we celebrate Memorial Day. Arrive early to the game. Get this special red poppy cap. Get your ticket today. dbacks.com. May 26th, Monday, we celebrate Memorial Day with a red poppy cap. Pirates looking for a new manager these days. Derek Shelton was relieved of his duties today. And Brandon Pfaadt makes short work of Kim. 3 strikeouts for Brandon. Good changeup right there.
Real good changeup. it looks like a fastball out of his hand. Everything tells the hitter that's another fastball, and you can clearly see Kim way out in front of that one.
James Outman is the center fielder. He's appeared in only 2 games for the Dodgers this year, but does have a home run. In fact, he homered at Miami yesterday. They beat the Marlins 10-1. Just recall for the minors earlier this week, Dodgers are without a couple of key offensive players. We've talked about their injuries on the pitching staff, but they're missing Teoscar Hernandez, who was so good for them last year. He's out with a groin strain, and Tommy Edman has been out this month with a bad right ankle. So they're missing 2 of their key players in their lineup every day. Right at the knees, a beauty of a changeup, and Fott starting to feel it now. He's punched out 3 of the last 4 Dodgers he's faced.
Talk a lot about rhythm in this game, and it looks like Brandon Fott is settling into a nice rhythm, throwing some of his secondary pitches for strikes, keeping his fastball out of the middle of the plate.
Well, if he wants to strike out the side, all he has to do is punch out Ohtani, who has flied out twice. Ohtani has homered in 4 of his last 8 games. He has been in LA's leadoff spot all season long. You might recall Ohtani hit second in the order for Dave Roberts for much of last year. Then Mookie Betts got hurt, broke his hand. They moved Ohtani up to the top spot middle of June, and he's been up there ever since. A rocket smothered by Marte. Ketel Marte with a beauty. And a shutdown 5th inning for Brandon Fott. He's worked 5 scoreless, and he holds a 4-0 lead. Marte, the NLCS MVP, with a final out of the 5th.
Bottom 5, Diamondbacks lead the Dodgers 4-0. There is first base coach Dave McKay. I was talking to Dave before the game, and we were talking about Merrill Kelly. Just to update yesterday, he got into that 7th inning, no trouble with the cramps. They were asking Merrill, everyone was so focused on the hydration. They said, what do you do between innings? He said, I go over and sit on the bench. Really, it was about moving around, even a little bit of stretching of those hamstrings, and he seemed to think that that was going to help him. He had no issues yesterday, and hopefully, guys, that'll solve the problem.
Yeah, it was Dave McKay, Jody, that suggested that, because look, there's what, 40, 50,000 people in here. He's in the best shape of all of us. He is a physical marvel, Dave McKay, and he is very in tune with his body and diet and things like that. And Mac went to Torrey and said, I have a suggestion. I think this would help. And Merrill said, look, I wasn't doing burpees in the clubhouse and jumping up and down and riding a horse around or anything, but he was just staying active, walking around a little bit more. And that did certainly seem to help. Corbin Carroll starts off the 5th. I once had a 35-minute discussion with Dave McKay about wheat.
Wheat?
Yeah, like
I asked him a question 35 minutes later.
Oh, goodness.
Like, he is so in tune to nutrition and exercise and all that stuff.
And baseball.
And baseball. Tremendous resource.
I remember one time we came back from a road trip and we were waiting on the equipment truck to bring the suitcase.
That's when I had my wheat discussion.
Okay, well, I asked him something about a game that had happened earlier on that road trip, and he said, come with me. And we went over, and he got his computer out and set it in the back of his pickup truck and was showing me and describing all these things. He is so into this game, and I mean, you want to talk about somebody that's seen it all and done it all.
Just an enormous amount of respect that he carries with him from everyone in the game. He's an incredible resource for this club. There's a hot shot for Thomas Hoey down there, our Golden Glover in right field. Karen Jenkins in left tonight. That's Thomas Chipsa Hoey.
Oh, that's right. I couldn't remember what it was.
Because it's like a cookie. And Jump Street down there in left field, that's Karen Jenkins. 8th pitch of the at-bat. There's Chipsa. Chipsa Hoey. It's a stretch, we realize.
Yeah.
But your staff works like little Keebler elves. See what I did there?
Oh.
3 and 2 on Corbin.
Double down.
Long at bat here for Corbin Carroll to start the 5th against Yamamoto, who's now at 80 pitches in the game, only 48 for strikes. Trails at 4-zip. Borderline pitch down there, but it might have touched the bottom of the zone. And Brennan Miller says strike 3. That's a borderline call and probably the correct one.
And he's been calling that low pitch. We've seen Brandon Pfaadt get some change-ups down there on that bottom bar of the strike zone, and that time a fastball from Yamamoto just clips the bottom.
And again, if you're rooting for the ABS automatic robot umps, that would have been a strike with them. Ketel Marte got to get his bat going. He's grounded out twice, once into a double play. Yamamoto, since the Gabby grand slam, has set down all 4 he's faced with 3 strikeouts. And it's 1-1 on Ketel. The Gabby Granny in the 4th, all of scoring so far. Marte launches a rocket to right field. And it's gone. Ketel Marte, and there's number 1. Welcome back. It's 5-0. A 109 miles an hour off the bat of Marte, his first of the year.
Thought off the bat initially it might be too low to clear the fence out there. That was a smoked line drive. Oh man, quick inside that time. Ketel just admiring from home plate, but then realizes that's a line drive. It might hit the wall. He started motoring down the first baseline after watching the flight of that baseball.
5-zip. Here's Pavin. Pavin's walk started that 4-run 4th. Here's the stat for you, Bob Brenly.
Okay.
Previous 7 starts, Yoshinobu Yamamoto had allowed only 2 home runs all season. He's given up 2 in the last 2 innings tonight.
Like it.
Pavin up the middle. Mookie from shortstop gathers it up. And there's 2 down in the 5th. Big sigh of relief for Ketel, and you know what? That's going to get him going.
I think so.
That's going to get him going. If he has a big series, we're going to look to that at bat right there, that swing, and said that's when he got it back. And it happens that way so often. Naylor singled and scored in the 4th. Josh Naylor the other day was asked about playing the Dodgers, big series, all the stuff that goes into that. He says there's beauty in having pressure on you. That's the way he looks at it. He says pressure's a gift. When you face a good ball club, you get better as an individual, get better as a team, and they're beating a pretty good team right now, 5-0. Marte the homer, 5-zip D-backs. The Diamondbacks Baseball Network is presented to you by Progressive. Shamrock Farms, down to the farm report. We go to the Hillsboro Hops, and boy, Demetrio Crisantes from Nogales, 7th round pick by the Diamondbacks 3 years ago. He is putting up some numbers for the Hops. Last night in Eugene, couple of home runs, drove in 5. That's a name to write down. One of their very top prospects, Demetrio Crisantes, the second baseman.
What a quick bat, man.
They're really, really high on him. Having a big year for Hillsboro. 71 pitches through 5 scoreless innings for Brandon Pfaadt, and Mookie Betts leads off the LA 6th.
It's been a strike all night. Sinker right at the bottom of the zone. Didn't get the call that time.
Should have. ABS had it as a strike. It's a ball and a strike. Brennan Miller back there, the plate umpire. And it was fire on the sweeper.
Alberta happened to be down in the tunnel behind the Dodgers dugout before the ball game, and Mookie Betts was in the batting cage before BP started, hitting breaking balls. They had the machine set up to throw big breaking balls.
Now, is that for Brandon Pfaadt because he throws the sweeper and the curveball?
I think it's just part of Mookie's daily routine. The gentleman I was talking to, JT Watkins, who feeds the machine and runs their video room, saying Mookie does it every day. He'll face left-handed breaking balls. He'll face right-handed breaking balls in the cage. Then he goes out and takes his regular BP, where all you see is straight pitch after straight pitch after straight pitch. And then 15 minutes before the game starts, Mookie will go back in the cage and see only right-handed spin. Tonight, because it's Brandon Pfaadt.
Naylor able to knock it down, a rocket off the bat of Freeman. And that's just the 3rd Dodger hit against Brandon Pfaadt. Josh almost able to glove that one.
Talk about quick bats. Freddie Freeman has one of the quickest top hands that's ever played this game.
That was 100 miles an hour off the bat. Snaps a stretch of 7 straight, retired by Pfaadt. Will Smith's had a good day so far, a single and a walk. Activity in the Dodger bullpen. Jack Dreyer, the left-hander. Former Iowa Hawkeye starts to get loose down there. There it is. Yamamoto threw 5s at 88 pitches, down 5-0. Seems unlikely he'd be back out there for the 6th.
Yeah, how about this for Yamamoto? He had given up 7 runs in his previous 7 starts. Gave up 5 already tonight.
Well, they built an inning. That's what's going to make Torey Lovullo the happiest about the way that they did it. They built that inning. Walk, single, hit batter to lead it off. Bases full, no outs, and Gabby had the big swing the other way. Tack on the Cattell homer in the 5th, the solo shot, and here we are, 5-zip in the 6th, 0-2 on Smith. Couldn't get that sinker to come back. Brandon has certainly not been dominant, but he's been highly effective. Only 3 hits allowed. He's walked 2, he struck out 4. All 3 Dodger hits are singles. Corbin Carroll on the run. Corbin's got it with a sliding grab in the corner. Freeman's off the bag, and he just does make it back in time. Corbin Carroll with a great jump right there and a nice sliding catch at the end.
And that ball was slicing away from him from the get-go. Talked about Will Smith going to the opposite field a lot more this year, especially with runners in scoring position, and Corbin takes away extra bases right there and then tries to double Freddie off first base.
Your Y refi slow-mo look. Corbin's got it, headed toward that line. Get a gold star from Dave McKay on the chart. Max Muncy 0 for 2. Brandon Pfaadt is delivering big time, giving the Diamondbacks exactly what they needed tonight to get this thing pointed back in the right direction. Diamondbacks been a little flat lately. They've lost 9 of their last 14 as they go into this series, but they lead the opener with the Dodgers 5-0, and Pfaadt has been a big component of that, especially coming off a rough time last week at Philadelphia. Made a lot of location mistakes, got knocked around a little bit by the Phillies, but has bounced back nicely tonight. Just away with a fastball. 3-0 on Muncy. Pages the on-deck man. Muncy has grounded out, popped out so far. He's 0 for 2. Well, this is Brandon Pfaudt's thing. Torey Lovello always says book it. 6 innings out of Brandon Pfaudt nearly every time. And he's 1 out away from doing it again. Muncy hits a dribbler that just gets under a diving Marte. Freeman running all the way, heads into third. And the Dodgers with 2 outs have men on the corners for Andy Pages.
Top spin grounder that finds its way up the middle of the field that time. Thought Cattell might have a play, but you can see how far toward first base he was shaded when that play began. Tough to cover that much ground.
Well, not hit all that well, but effective. Bullpen quiet behind Pfaudt. 85 pitches for Brandon. Pages has flied out, struck out 0 for 2. The right fielder. The appeal, no, says Jeremy Rehak. It's 1-0. Pages in his last 14 games hitting over 400, but hitless so far tonight. Freeman at third, Muncy at first with 2 outs. Took a big rip at that sweeper. That's a Brandon Pfaudt sweeper right there.
Almost got Pages to chase the first one. Comes right back with another one. That time he did get him to chase.
Well, it almost clipped Freddie in the ankle down there. Be careful. There's Jump Street Jenkins in left field. Got that under control out there. You got to watch out for Freddie's ankle. Had surgery over the weekend. There's the great Karen Jenkins. Brandon a strike away. And Pages takes his timeout. The 1-2 from Brandon Pfaudt. Got him! The sweeper, Brandon Pfaudt. Spectacular 6 scoreless innings of 4-hit ball against the Dodgers. He's punched out 5 and leads it 5-0.
You just gotta enjoy that whatever you are or whatever God put you, and that's Gino. You know, that's what I've been doing. I enjoy what I am. I enjoy my career. I do my best who whatever need me, and and now here with you in Arizona.
Oh, we're glad to have him. Gino going to lead off the 6th inning. I had a great conversation with Gino not long ago, and he's just such a genuine, warm guy. The whole good vibes only thing, it is not an act, that's who he is. And he leads off the 6th against the new pitcher for Los Angeles, left-hander Jack Dreyer, and Gino sends one down the line. That's a fair ball in the corner. And the Diamondbacks offense has come alive. A leadoff double for Suarez.
Line drive hooking down that left field line, was just hoping it would stay fair, and it certainly did. That ball was hit hard.
That's our Y-Refi slow-mo look. Suarez with his 6th double of the year. Leadoff man aboard in the 6th inning against Dreyer, the rookie from the University of Iowa. He's from Johnston, Iowa. Dreyer with his 16th appearance of the season. Pitched pretty well. 22 strikeouts in 19 innings, a 3.32 ERA. Good night for Gabby. He singled in the 2nd. He had the Diamondbacks' first hit, and then he got their biggest hit. A grand slam in the 4th off Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Yamamoto gave up a total of 4 earned runs in his first 7 starts this season. He allowed 5 earned runs tonight. And it's 3-0 on Gabby as the curveball misses in.
You mentioned Dreyer. This is his 16th appearance this season. He's not even close to leading the Dodgers bullpen. They've got 2 guys at 19 appearances, 2 guys at 18 appearances, and 1 at 17.
Well, they're battling all those key injuries. Let's take a look at Gabby in the 4th inning. The StatCast presented by Budweiser. Bases loaded, and he unloads. First home run of the year for Moreno. What a time for it. What a spot for it. Diamondbacks have out hit LA 7-4. They lead at 5-zip. 5 grand slams for the Diamondbacks, most of the majors. Yamamoto tonight saw his ERA double. He went from 0.9 to 1.8. 1.8 still pretty good, by the way. Gabby to center. Outman is backing up, and Gino heads for 3rd. He's in there standing up. So tonight, even when Gabby makes it out, it's a productive out.
Hit that ball hard as well. Straight away center field that time. Good signs from Gabby tonight.
For sure. And we've seen a lot of those lately from Lourdes, who has singled and struck out. And there against Jack Dreyer, whose nickname is Maytag. I'll let you do the math on that one for yourself. Pretty good nickname.
Took a second there.
Well,
I got it.
It's been a while. Anyone over a certain age will understand the reference. RBI chance for Lourdes. Infield in for Los Angeles, and Gurriel chops it a down slider in 0-2. Chased one there. Well, this was a night that Yoshinobu Yamamoto would soon forget. 5 earned runs allowed ties a career high. 2 home runs tonight, tied a career high. 6 hits given up, 1 shy of a career high. Dodgers will stick with the infield in. And Lourdes takes time. Oh, a little alert from Dreyer. This is the Gurriel specialty.
He leads the league in that.
He sure does. He has a knack for going right down to that 8-second minimum. To be alert to the pitcher. Doesn't chase the curveball down there that time. Well, Well, you'd love to, as you said, break that streak of losing the first game in a series against the Dodgers, but almost more importantly, you're setting a tone here with this one. Lourdes went out there to chase the slider, and Will Smith hangs on. 2 outs in the 6th. Don't want to waste that leadoff double by Gino.
Lourdes was just looking for something up in the zone. He could hit in the air to the outfield. Unfortunately, chases a pitch just off the outside corner that time.
Left on left now for Alec, who struck out twice against Yamamoto. He's got Suarez at third and 2 outs.
Yeah, when you put a whipping on the other team's ace, first game of a series, that definitely sends a message.
Boosts everyone's morale, confidence. I mean, you know, let's face it, things haven't been going so great lately. They've lost 9 of 14, so this would be a major boost and a great step in the right direction if they can close this out.
Yeah, Will Smith might have saved a run right there. Like that was headed for the backstop.
Alec on the ground, backhanded by Freeman, and they strand the leadoff double. We hit the 7th inning, leading the Dodgers 5-0. Diamondbacks playing game 38 this season, and this is their first game against the National League West opponent. And we get a look at the Desert Financial upcoming schedule, but now they also begin 13 straight against division opponents. We get the Dodgers, the Giants, the Rockies, and then we'll go to LA in the middle of this month. So it's a big trip through the National League West for the Diamondbacks, and Brandon Pfaadt back out there to start the 7th. Now Pfaadt's at 89 pitches through 6 scoreless innings, and I think, Bob, if A.J. Puck were back there, Justin Martinez were back there, I think Brandon Pfaadt would probably be done. But since the pitch count is relatively under control, maybe Torey Lovullo thinking, well, let's try to get 3 more outs out of him. Brandon's high pitch count for a year is 100. That was 2 starts ago here against Atlanta. We'll see how it works out. By the way, A.J. Puck, we're told, is asymptomatic now, so they're encouraged with his progress. Justin Martinez has begun throwing on flat ground and may move to a mound soon. Jalen Beeks, the left-hander, up in the Sanderson Ford bullpen as Michael Conforto starts the LA 7th. So Pfaadt might be on a short leash here.
Yeah, Conforto's hit the ball hard twice in this game. Chased Alec Thomas all the way to the wall in center and hit a line drive right at Ketel Marte at second. Hey, talk about the schedule. First game against the National League West here on May 8th.
Yeah, weird.
The Cubs have played 23 games against the National League West. Go figure.
And we were just on a tour of the National League East. Mets, Phillies, Mets, Braves. Played 4 straight series against National League East teams. By the way, there's another bullpen note. Kendall Graveman pitched yesterday for Reno and did very well. Ball was coming out hot. And he'll pitch another game for Reno, I believe, tomorrow. And then we might see Graveman in the bullpen after that. When he loses Conforto, it's a leadoff walk. We'll see what that does to the patience of the skipper down there. And we'll remind you that Mexican Heritage Weekend starts tomorrow as we continue the Dodgers series. Tomorrow night, enjoy a free post-game concert. dbacks.com/MEX for tickets. Mexican Heritage Weekend kicks off tomorrow right here against the Dodgers. We have a few Dodger fans with us. Ha-Seong Kim, the second baseman, has struck out twice against Falk, now down 0-1. A walk to Conforto, just the third for Brandon. He's struck out 5 so far tonight, giving up just 4 hits, all singles. Just missed the corner down there with a change.
You mentioned Kim struck out twice in the game. His first strikeout was looking, which gives Brandon Pfaadt 78 strikeouts looking since the beginning of the season last year. That's 3rd in the major leagues.
He just throws more strikes than a lot of guys. Kim just flailing at that changeup, but it's 1-2. Kim, 26 years old, signed a 3-year deal coming over from the KBO. His first name, Ha-Seong, can translate in Korean as comet, and he runs about as fast as a comet. Boy, just a mess of sweepers and curveballs. He struck him out for the 3rd time. 6 punch outs for Brandon.
Speed doesn't do you any good if it's just going back to your own dugout. The 3rd strikeout in the game for Kim.
Here comes Torey Lovullo, and Brandon Pfaadt should get a big ovation as he comes off the mound. He delivered against the Dodgers, the first game against the Dodgers this year. The standout starting pitching performance they needed. And it's Brandon Pfaadt who set the tone here tonight. Outstanding. Brandon Pfaadt, 6 in the 3rd, scoreless innings, outstanding. He walked 3, struck out 6, responsible for Conforto at first base. He'll turn it over to the left-hander Jalen Beeks, 17 appearances and a 2.25 ERA. He worked an inning and a 3rd in the game yesterday against the Mets through 19 pitches. Brought on to face James Outman. Dave Roberts counters with Kike Hernandez off the bench to pinch hit. And there's a low changeup for a strike. So here's Kike's first at bat in this series. 5 homers, hitting 194, back for a 12th major league season, his 9th in Dodger blue. Well, they let him face Kim, who obviously was overmatched. And he had 2 more lefties coming up, which is why he went to Beeks here, Outman and Ohtani, but you've got Kike now hitting for Outman and Ohtani on deck behind him.
Think they'll hit for Ohtani?
Yeah, probably. I would. You don't want that left on left. They'll find another righty down there somewhere. Jalen Beeks has just been sneaky good for the Diamondbacks. He's a tremendously reliable guy. Got the changeup by him. It's 2-2. He just gets guys out.
We talk about it every time he comes into the ball game. Sneaky's a good word for it. He has a very simple delivery, puts that ball on his left hip, and then he can throw a fastball up there in the mid to upper 90s.
Misfire on the changeup. Now you don't want the things to get interesting here. You had the walk to Conforto, full count on Kike, and you got Ohtani waiting on deck. Got to make a pitch right here. Got him! Oh, he dotted the fastball, and Kike knew it. He got caught looking. Jalen Beeks with a tremendous pitch right there for the second out.
Right there on the corner at 95, just above the bottom of the zone. Kike not looking for that one.
Here comes Ohtani, who's 0 for 3. Right on the corner, 97 for strike 1. Ohtani has homered in 4 of his last 8 games, 10 on the year. 0 for 3 so far tonight.
Ohtani's unique for a lot of different reasons, but watch how he holds his chin up in the air as he looks out toward the mound.
The bird's eye view.
Yeah, most guys kind of tuck it in there. He does eventually when he starts to swing, but as he's standing there waiting on the pitch, yeah, his chin up in the air.
He threw a beauty of a changeup and had Ohtani way out in front. And he's ahead of the count 1-2. Jalen Beeks struck out the pinch hitter, Kike Hernandez. Now 1-2 on Shohei Ohtani. Got him, Jalen Beeks. 2 batters, 2 strikeouts. We stretch, leading the Dodgers 5-0. D-backs baseball brought to you by Y-Refi.
Diamondbacks lead the Dodgers. Brandon Pfaadt 6 1/3 scoreless, and he joins me now. Brandon, thanks for letting me sneak in here, by the way.
What's that?
Thanks for letting me sneak in here.
Of course, thanks for having me.
And you got to admire Jalen Beeks finishing it out there. Just your thoughts on him finishing it with Ohtani.
Yeah, he's been awesome for us all year, and he's a perfect guy to come in and get that guy out. So credit to him and getting us out of that inning and moving on.
Let me ask you, you seem to really find a rhythm. You looked good throughout this outing. What did you find when you sat down 7 straight there? You had a quick 5th inning getting Ohtani to ground out.
Yeah, everything was working. I think we were able to mix it well. And Gabby helped us stay under control, and obviously Gabby came up huge with the homer there.
Yeah, shades of going back to the postseason when you had the 4 2/3 scoreless and Gabby had one of a few homers there. But how does that allow you to attack more after you get that lead?
Yeah, I mean, our offense has been doing it quite a bit, and when they're able to get a 5-0 lead for us pretty quick, we're able to go out there and do our jobs and get back in the dugout and let them keep hitting.
And you kept all of their guys pretty much under control, 4 hits, all singles. But let me ask you, Ohtani, getting that weak contact at the end of the 5th, how do you do that? How do you induce some soft contact with a guy like that?
You just got to keep him off balance. And he's a good player, and he's one of the best in the game. And just attacking him and getting the other guys out is almost more important. So I think the defense did great for me today and bailed me out of some good situations. And so credit to them.
Brandon, thanks so much. Great job tonight. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Guys.
Thank you, Jody. Thank you, Brandon Funk. 3rd time a Diamondback starter did not allow a run. The 2nd time for Brandon. He also did it in his start last month against Baltimore. Zach Gallen had the other one at Yankee Stadium. But boy, what a lift he's given this team. And what a start to this series. Perdomo with a leadoff double. Corbin hits a sky-high ball to Kim, who's out in center field now. After they hit for Outman, Perdomo stays put. Kike Hernandez hit for James Outman. So Hernandez takes over at second base, replacing Kim, and Kim is out in center, replacing Outman. Here's Marte, who homered his last time up, his first of the year, a line drive over the head of Pages and right.
They're going to intentionally walk Cattell. Nobody wants to pitch to Cattell from the right side.
Gets the free pass. Jack Dreyer, the left-hander out there, so they'll work to the left-on-left matchup against Pavin Smith, only they're not going to get it because Pavin's headed back into the dugout, and here comes Randall Grichuk. So you give Marte the free pass, give Grichuk a chance now to get in there with 2 on against the left-hander, and he will bat for Pavin. A chance for Randall. Doubled and scored in the win here Tuesday over the Mets. Remember, he had that big RBI double in extras Sunday in the win in Philadelphia.
Funny little interchange right there. But there was a timeout as Grichuk was announced as a pinch hitter. Perdomo ran over to first base to talk to Dave McKay and Ketel Marte. And as soon as he saw that, Max Muncy went over to talk to Mookie Betts. I think the Dodgers are expecting some kind of a play here, either a steal or a hit and run. Certainly not a bunt.
You're looking for Grichuk to find a gap right here and unload on the lefty. That's what he's here to do. Perdomo's at second, Marte's at first. Was his pitch, a slider at the belt. It's 0-2.
That's the effect Dave McKay has on the opposing team. He talks to the base runners, and immediately the Dodgers left side of the infield goes, wait a minute, they're doing something.
Respect level for Mac is as high as it should be, and that's about as high as it gets. Didn't offer, says Jeremy Rehab. You'd like to see him club one right here. Breaking wide open. Doubled up the Dodgers in the hit column 8-4. They lead at 5-zip. Chop to third. Muncy steps on the bag for 1. Double play. To the 8th inning, up 5-0.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Arizona Diamondbacks and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Welcome back inside Chase Field. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brentley, Jody Jackson, Mark Grace here with you. Things have come full circle now for the right-hander Juan Murillo. He was originally signed out of Venezuela by the Dodgers, started pitching in LA's minor league system when he was 17 years old, but never got past the AA level with Los Angeles. He spent all last year pitching for their AA team Tulsa in the Texas League. Diamondbacks signed him this winter. Now here he is, getting his first major league appearances, and the Dodgers, Mookie Betts is staring him right back. Murillo scoreless baseball in 6 of his 7 outings this season. And it's strike 1 to Mookie, who's 1 for 3. Talked about the idea that Murillo, with his stuff, and if he threw strikes consistently enough, he would be a fast mover up the food chain in his bullpen and find himself in some leverage spots. And here he is pitching in the 8th inning with a lead against the Dodgers. Now it's 5-0. It's not 1-0, but you get the point. They like the stuff. They like the live arm. Can he throw strikes consistently? That's the only thing. 26 years old, just turned 26 back in March. Gets Betts, Freeman, and Smith in the LA 8th. 2-2 on Mookie.
Talk about the sharp end of the stick.
Throw you right in the deep end of the pool. Well, Murillo, when he was in LA's minor league system, had Tommy John surgery. Cost him most of 21, almost all of 22, but he came back throwing hard. But he's found a big league job with the Diamondbacks, and Betts knocks it into left. His second hit tonight. Now he gets Freddie Freeman.
For me, Murillo, everything works off that 100-mile-an-hour fastball. That's not a bad pitch right there. Hard slider at 89 below the bottom of the zone. Just good hitting from Mookie Betts.
Dodgers with 5 hits. Mookie has 2 of them, both singles. Freddie Freeman has another. He has walked and singled, 1 for 2. Freeman always a danger man in this ballpark. Coming into tonight, he was a career, I shudder to say it out loud, 373 hitter at Chase Field, and that's in 55 games. He has always crushed the ball here. He's played 55 games at Chase in his career. He's got 50 RBIs. The numbers, and they're not pretty from a Diamondback perspective. 16 homers, 50 knocked in, and he's ahead of the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Got a little help right there from Brennan Miller. Low strike call on that fastball.
Got to throw strikes to Freddie Freeman. He rarely chases pitches out of the zone.
Will Smith on deck. 3-1 on Freddie. Don't forget, you can watch every Diamondback game for the rest of the year in market, live and on demand for only $45. This is absolutely the best deal in televised sports. We've cut the price in half. It's a limited time only offer all season long. Every Diamondbacks game on dbacks.tv. $44.99. dbacks.tv is where you go to get all the information. It is a limited time offer, so act now. 3-2. Got him. Juan Murillo, 99, and he strikes out Freeman. He got back in the count
and put him away for the first out of the 8th.
That's a rarity. Just blow a fastball right by one of the best hitters in the game in Freddie Freeman, but that's exactly what Juan Murillo did. Just threw it right by.
That's got to boost the young man's confidence. Will Smith has singled and walked. '98, just put it on the plate with his stuff. They really have something here. The Diamondbacks pro scouting department finds guys like Jalen Beeks. They find guys like Juan Murillo. Corey Hahn and company doing an outstanding job. And those guys right now have been bullpen savers with all the injuries. I mean, think about where they'd be without Beeks and Murillo, because you're minus Puck, you're minus J Mart. You haven't seen Graveman yet. These guys are saving everybody's bacon.
Yeah, Ginkel just got back not too long ago.
Great point. Smith rolls it into left. He's aboard for the 3rd time. Dodgers not going to go away quietly.
And 1 out Will Smith made in this game. It took an incredible play by Corbin Carroll down in that right field corner. That sliding catch to take extra bases away from him.
Torey Lovullo's got a pretty well rested bullpen, but there's not a ton of options out here. And this is something that Torey, I talked with him about this today. He encourages players only mound meetings. The pitching coach or the manager doesn't have to go out there every time. He will signal to Geraldo Perdomo or to Gabriel Moreno, hey, go out there and chit chat. Just kind of encourage your teammate. He wants the players to encourage each other. He wants the players to lift each other. And that's why you see a lot of players only mound meetings lately. You don't always need a coach out there.
And understand the rhythm of the game. Obviously the Dodgers with a couple of base runners here. Okay, let's just slow things down a little bit. Let's look at the situation here. What do we need? And I'm sure Jerry at one point told him, have him hit a ground ball to me, we'll turn a double play.
Muncy singled his last time up. Torey will signal to Perdomo. And I said, so how many times does Jerry look at you in the dugout? And he said, about 75 times a game. And sometimes for laughs, he'll give him the we're #1 sign.
Yeah.
Murillo's got to start throwing strikes. Can't fall behind on guys like Muncy. Now with 2 runners on and 1 out. Bullpen's quiet for the moment behind him. Mookie Betts is at second base and Will Smith's at first with 1 out. .100 right at the knees or a tick below. That caught the top of the bottom of the zone according to ABS. Robot umps had that as a strike. Now the 2-1. Pages, right fielder on deck. 2-2 on Max Muncy. Juan Murillo in his biggest spot as a Diamondback to date. Pitching against his former club. It's a 92-mile-an-hour changeup, but he left it up just a bit. Muncy able to get a piece and stay alive.
And Murillo's average fastball velocity this year, 98.7. That's 5th in the National League. And one of the guys ahead of him is somebody named Justin Martinez.
Yeah. He throws pretty hard too, from what I hear.
He does.
2-2. Muncy's a tough out. Falling off. They threw him that changeup down the 99 up and in. Fouled them both off. Big league at bat right here. Bullpen still quiet behind Murillo. Muncy launches one toward the pool. And it bounces into the pool. Big break for the Diamondbacks. Betts will score. They're going to have to stop Will Smith at third. Muncy earned that one, fought off a whole bunch of pitches. But the ground rule double limits the damage to 1 run.
caught up to 100 that time, up a little bit in the zone. Long run for both Thomas and Carroll. Neither guy can get to the spot quickly enough, and it's up and over and into the pool.
Well, Murillo has faced 4 batters in this inning, 3 of them at base hits. Another player conference at the mound. We'll have to get something going. It's Kevin Ginkel back there now who will start to get loose. And there is Perdomo running things. Brian Kaplan going to go out and play stall a little bit more. It'll put the 4 corners offense in effect here. And Murillo, who has flashed great stuff, got the big strikeout of Freddie Freeman, but has given up 2 singles and a double in a span of 4 batters. Remember, fans, you can get access to limited edition Diamondback items and events this year. dbacks.com/specials is the chance to check out the entire list. Log on to dbacks.com/specials. See what's coming up this year. Ginkel starts to get loose. Pages the hitter in a big spot, second and third. Only 1 out for the Dodgers. 1 run already in. And here is Pages, who was 0 for 3. He struck out twice against Brandon Pfaadt.
Pages had no solution for that Brandon Pfaadt sweeper.
Not waiting around, lines it into right. Smith scores. They stop Muncy as Corbin Carroll gets it back in quickly. 4 Dodger hits in a span of 5 batters for Murillo, and Ginkel can't warm up fast enough right now.
That had struggled against Brandon Pfaadt, as I just mentioned, with that sweeper. Starts him off with a slider that time, stayed right on it, drove it to the opposite field. Fortunately hit hard enough that Muncy had to hold up at third base.
Conforto steps in as the tying run at the plate, still just 1 out. Kevin Ginkel in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Dodgers had 4 hits in the first 7 innings tonight. They have 4 hits in this 8th inning alone. 96 is there, and it's 0-2.
Saw Wellington Cepeda going to the bullpen phone and tipped his cap, which is the universal sign for he's ready.
Remember, the Diamondbacks, one of the best teams in the major leagues. They have 12 come from behind wins. That's second in the majors only to the Dodgers. They have 13. Muncy is at third. Pages at first. 0-2 on Michael Conforto. Marte. Terrific play. They get 1 and 2. They roll the double play. Diamondback infield turns a critical double play. Muncy was coming across. Dodgers want to have a look. Dave Roberts might challenge here.
Marte with the jump throw to Perdomo clearly got the out at second base.
Yeah, they're going to challenge. Dave Roberts wants to challenge the play. Just pointed to first base. Here's the play.
Los Angeles is challenging the out ball first base.
Well, once again, the difference may have been the fact that Conforto hits the bag with his heel rather than the front of his foot on the front of the bag. I think that's going to make the difference in the play right here.
I think you're right. It's very close. But if you're Dave Roberts, you absolutely challenge this regardless, because you've got Murillo backing up on the ropes. Chance to extend this inning. You're going to take it right here.
Yeah, you get this late in the ball game, and especially with the rally the Dodgers have going in this inning, there's no reason not to challenge that play. Yeah, you clearly see Conforto's foot hit right in the middle of the base that time rather than the front edge.
Here's Conroy, the third base ump. Jeremy Rehak with his back to you, the first base umpire, made the call. Well, it's a terrific start by Cattell to get that double play even a reality.
This is another one of those situations where they've shown the replay on the big board here at the ballpark, and everybody on the first base side of the field is signaling safe, and everybody on the third base side says he's out.
As we found out on the other day with that stolen base play when Alec Thomas was thrown out, the call in the field matters. You got to have enough to get it overturned. And Chris Conroy now getting the word, it looks like, from New York. There he is.
After review, the call in the field is confirmed. The runner is out. Los Angeles will lose its challenge.
Called confirmed means they know they got it right. Ketel Marte starts a critical double play. It's 5-2 Diamondbacks. Big crowd tonight. There they are on the wire cam, provided by Defy, as Josh Naylor set to lead off the 8th inning. Lefty Jack Dreyer out there again for the Dodgers. Dreyer's worked the last 2 innings. He's kept the Diamondbacks scoreless, but they do have a couple of doubles along the way. And Naylor, who singled and scored in the 4th, 1 for 3, starts us off in the 8th, and we have a timer violation here. Naylor will start.
They called a strike.
They called
Naylor.
it on Jock. Yeah, it's a batter violation, so automatic strike. And an 0-1 count. Now it's 0-2. That was quick.
Big double play to finish that last half inning. Yeah, the defense has been a little shaky at times this year, but we've seen a great sliding catch by Corbin Carroll in right, a couple nice plays by Alec Thomas in center field to run down some long fly balls.
Now we're told that it was a pitcher violation, so they've changed the count, and now it's 1-2. I think they need to make it, well, you got to figure out a system where there's just a little more clarity on that. So 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count on Josh Naylor. And Josh taps it up the middle. Once he comes over from third. If you missed the game, you've missed a terrific one. Here's our Chaz Roberts, air conditioning and plumbing, cool plays of the game. All the Diamondback offense. The Gabby Granning in the 4th. Bases loaded, no outs. Moreno's first of the year is an opposite field grand slam. Then Marte in the 5th, his first of the year. Our Chaz Roberts, air conditioning and plumbing, cool plays of the game. Been all the offense. 5 runs, 8 hits. Here's Gino. Gino doubled his last time up. He was the first batter that Dreyer faced when he came on to start the 6th. Diamondbacks were impressive against Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who came in with the best earned run average of the major leagues. Mookie at short. Yamamoto went 5 innings, gave up 5 runs all earned, 6 hits, a walk, and 4 strikeouts, and 2 homers. His ERA doubled, went from 0.9 to 1.8. Back with you tomorrow. Pre-game show at 6 o'clock on D-backs TV. Eduardo Rodriguez takes on Roki Sasaki. Diamondbacks will have Zach Gallen go here Saturday night. or pardon me, Corbin Burns go here Saturday, Zach Allen Sunday. Don't forget tomorrow the debut of the brand new Serpientes Purple City Connect Nike alternate jersey look.
Can't wait.
And everybody has been excited about that. There, I tell you what, you go to the team shop, you can't even get in there now. Everyone's buying the Serpientes stuff. They got a ton of stuff in there. And it all looks that cool. Dodgers in the 9th will have Kim, Hernandez, Ohtani due up 8, 9, and 1. And it looks like Kevin Ginkel is going to get the Herculean task of getting the final 3 outs. And Gabby just drops it in there. Boy, Moreno has looked like a different guy offensively tonight. He has singled twice and hit a grand slam. He's 3 for 4.
And a much more controlled swing from Gabby. We talked about it before. It looked like he was trying to hit balls in the air to his pull field. Just a very short, abbreviated, kind of a choppy swing at that ball, but produces a line drive into center field for his 3rd knock of the game.
Lourdes Gurriel Jr. 1 for 3, a single in the 2nd against Yamamoto. And you know, no one is more excited about the Serpientes jerseys than Lourdes, who is constantly in purple, literally from head to toe. And it's going to be interesting to see what he comes up with Friday and Saturday.
Probably yellow shoes.
No, just purple. Might have purple face paint on or something. In fact, it will be interesting to see what all the players wear. I mean, most of these guys, if you go to their lockers in the clubhouse, they got like 3 dozen pairs of shoes in there. And they got you should see Grichuk's shoe rack. It's crazy. And Lourdes has got a whole compartment over there. All right, to Mookie Betts at shortstop. So here we go. It's a 5-2 Diamondback lead, and the top of the 9th inning is coming up. Back with you from Chase Field, where the Diamondbacks are 3 outs away from getting a win in Game 1 of the 4-game set with the Dodgers. First meeting between these two this year. And they'll hand the 9th inning over to the right-hander Kevin Ginkel. 4 appearances since his return from right shoulder inflammation this spring. He worked a scoreless 8th inning, just 13 pitches in the win here Tuesday over the Mets. Ha-Seong Kim, who started at second base, is now in center field. Starts off the LA 9th. He faced Brandon Pfaadt 3 times and was overmatched, struck out all 3 times. Kevin Ginkel has 13 career saves. This is his first save opportunity in 2025. And he jumps ahead with a fastball 0-1. Kim recently called up earlier this month. First appearance in the major leagues. They are without Tommy Edman right now. He's out with some right ankle trouble. And Kim's a guy that's an excellent defender. He can play different infield spots. Terrific speed. Sliders there, and it's 1-2. Kike Hernandez on deck, then it's Shohei Ohtani. And obviously you'd like to face Ohtani with the bases empty if you could. Upstairs at 96. Boy, they had Kim just flailing at curveballs and sweepers against Brandon Pfaadt. Dinkle's a different cat. Hard fastball, wicked slider. Now the 2-2. Kim lines it to right. Corbin's got it. One away in the ninth. Post-game preview brought to you by Casino Arizona. Jody Jackson, Mark Grace standing by. A lot to talk about after this one. It's been an impressive night for the Diamondbacks, but they got to close it out. And here is Hernandez. Struck out against Jalen Beeks as a pinch hitter in the 7th. Short left, Lourdes, 2 down. Now it's Ohtani, last man standing for Los Angeles. And wouldn't this be a fitting way to close out this one for the Diamondbacks?
I like the way you think.
Yep, they're on their feet here, a tremendous crowd, mostly Diamondback fans. And the Beat LA chant rises from Chase Field. 2 down for Ohtani, who's 0 for 4. He has lined out, flied out, grounded out, struck out. It's not like I suppose you could pitch around Ohtani, but you got Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman behind him, so I'm not sure what you do here. I guess just try to get him out.
Yeah, that'll work.
Easier said than done. There's the slider from Ginkel, and it's 2-1. Another slider. Kevin's a strike away. Two and 2 on Shohei Ohtani. Just upstairs and it's full. Betts on deck. Try the backdoor slider again. Diamondbacks fans showed out tonight. They're on their feet, 1 strike away from a win over the Dodgers. The 3-2 from Kevin Ginkel. Ohtani blasts it to right center. And they're not done yet. His 11th, make it 5-3.
After getting some funny looking swings earlier in the at bat with the slider, he comes back, challenges with a 96-mile-an-hour heater. Just a poor location that time.
Diamondbacks bullpen undermanned, missing AJ Puck, missing Justin Martinez, still no Kendall Graveman. Being pushed to the limit here. Betts has singled twice. He's 2 for 4. If Betts gets on, you've got Freeman up there as the tying run at the plate. 1-1 on Mookie. Slider a little low. Mookie lays off. 2 balls and a strike. Diamondbacks hanging on to a 5-3 lead. Each team now with 9 hits. Deep to center. Alec Thomas is there, and the Diamondbacks have it. They win their first one against the Dodgers in 2025. The first time they've won a series opener against LA in a long time, 15 series. And they get big home runs from Gabriel Moreno and Ketel Marte. The bullpen walks that high wire, but they made it across. A 5-3 Diamondback win.
Yeah, some guys that have been struggling came up big time with the bats today, and I mentioned it before, the defense was outstanding today. A lot of really good plays by the D-backs.
And Brandon Pfaadt was outstanding. Pfaadt set the tone. He was just terrific. 6 1/3 scoreless with 6 strikeouts. Jody and Gracie have a great post-game show. They'll talk to Gabby after this.